For practice problem number 5, we're given two tables. We're told one table shows a relationship that is not a function, this one here, and the other table shows a relation that is a function, this one here. I want to know which values for w, that's that blank here on the table that says not a function, and z could correctly complete these tables. So w is going to have to be something that makes the red table not a function, and z needs to be a value that will make sure that this table remains a function. We see a bunch of choices here. We're actually going to take a look at these two tables full screen on the whiteboard for a bit. Here we see the one that can't be a function in red, and then in blue, the one that has to be a function that needs to still meet the definition of a function. So recalling what we've worked with all day, that a function, each input x value can have exactly one output. So if this one's not a function, w needs to be something that does not meet that definition. W could be -8. If you make w -8, then this would not meet the definition of a function. Or it could also be +3, because that would defeat the definition of a function if +3 appears twice. So I realized w only has two possible values. It could be -8 or +3. If w took -8 or +3 as a value, we would know this is not a function because the same input would be appearing twice. The converse, or the opposite of that, for table, or the blue table that we have here, the one that needs to be a function, z needs to be anything other than -8 or 3. Z cannot be equal to -8 or +3. Because in the case of the blue table, if z were equal to -8 or +3, we would have an input that appears twice. It would fail the definition. So the real key for our multiple select is w has to equal either -8 or +3, and the z can never equal -8 or +3. Once we understand that key piece of information, that's how we can start to see which ones could be correct. Answer choice A says w could be -8. That works for us. That's good. And z could be -5. That works for us. So answer choice A is one of our correct possibilities. It meets both of these priorities or requirements. Answer choice B says w could be -8. That's good. That works for us. It says z could be 3. That doesn't work for us. Z can never equal 3, so B is a distractor. Answer choice C says w could be -5. That's a distractor. W has to be -8 or 3. Same for D. But then we see E and F at least give us a w of 3, one of the possibilities we like. E doesn't work because it says z is -8, but F says z is 0. That works for us. A and F are the only two possibilities that work here. Again, this is really just application of the fact that w has to be -8 or 3. Z cannot be -8 or 3. But this is a bit of a complicated question, so feel free to talk to me, Ms. Stewart, Mr. Chu, if you need some more help understanding this last problem.